Hello, my people. My name is Mark Justin Kamau, former gambler, former alcoholic, homeless, and in jail. Now bringing more and more into recovery, and most of all, into God who helped me to be here and still standing. So today I'm going to talk about yet another amazing episode. I'm going to talk about 10 mistakes I made in my first year of recovery. Mistakes are inevitable, specifically when it comes to recovery and in life. But there's a quote that says that a wise man learns from another person's mistake. So if it's your first day in recovery, I want you to learn from these mistakes and don't repeat them. Yeah. So, number one mistake I made in my first year is that I almost quit. Initially, when I was getting into recovery, remember after my mom's death, who died immediately, my mom's burial is the last time. That day was the last time I abused any drug or I gambled. And I decided to completely live a better life for her, if not for me. I almost quit during the first days. It was hard. I didn't know how to live life without drugs, without gambling. I'm in the village. I'm with my dad. Somebody I never sat down with for my life. Didn't forgive him. Had a complaining attitude. It wasn't that easy. So if you are there and you're going through that situation and you almost want to quit, just get to realize that first day it won't be easy. You will feel like quitting. It's like going for gym for the first day. You have never lifted weights. But there is one thing that tells you in your mindset that one day if I keep on pushing, I'll have the best body I want. I'll have the mentality I want if I keep on doing these weights. One day I get into the gym, I find this guy who is lifting 150 kgs. I'm only lifting 10. He's anyway laughing at me. He's the one encouraging me. And he tells me one thing. If you do it consistently, you also one day lift the 150 kgs that I'm lifting. The reason as to why I'm lifting 150 is because I didn't quit when I was doing 10. An amazing point there. Number two, I forced people to believe in me. That's a big mistake I made. I was always calling my sister, can't you see I have changed? Send me money. I was calling my dad every time I'm trying to influence him. And one thing that makes us to stick in addiction is because we want to force people to believe. Actually, there's a saying that goes that the best apology is a changed behavior. I mean, some of the people you are trying to bring into your life, it might be your exes, it might be your friends who left because of the things you did. You have to understand that they left for a reason. Given the same circumstance or scenario, and if you are put in the same circumstance or scenario, you also have left them. Some of us even left ourselves in addiction. So what exactly makes you think that just because you have been in recovery for 2 months, 1 year, people magically come back into your life? Stop forcing people into your life. Sometimes some of the people who are left were meant to be with you for a short period of time to teach you something or for you to teach them something. Number three, try to do too many things at once. Oh, a big one. Try to be a farmer. One thing I've realized is that if you give yourself to just one thing, eventually things will work. Confucius said it so nicely that a person who chases after 2 rabbits catches neither. Peter Drucker is another guy who said it so nicely that the most useless thing would be to be effective in things that do not even matter. Another guy known as Marcus Aurelius said it even better, that let thine opportunity be so few if thou wouldst lead a tranquil life. Let the opportunities be so few if you want to lead a tranquil life. If you want to live a better life in recovery, focus on one thing. Give it your best. I hear them talking about Julius Caesar. You know, Julius Caesar wanted to conquer another land. And Cao Tzu has talked about the art of war in his book about the art of war. And he says it so nicely that if you want to win a war, and you sail through the ocean, you have to burn the boats that you used to sail through the ocean. That is what Julius Caesar, can't remember the other guy, but Julius Caesar did that thing. He burned the boats that he and his troops had used to sail through the ocean where the enemies were, which meant that they either won the war or perished. That is the same mentality if you get into recovery. Stop focusing on too many ideas. Just focus on that day, focus on that specific thing that you are doing at the moment. The thing about life is, like Albert Camus says, is that the best and the greatest generosity we can ever give to your future is by giving your all to the present. Whatever you are doing right now, give it your best. Stop focusing on too many things in recovery. Number 4, I did not know how to ask for advice. Big problem. I met people who are better than me, people who had gone through life for many years. Many people I know in my life who are that. One thing about life is that I have realized, I shouldn't market my idea. I want to inspire as many people out there in the world. I want the rehabilitation which my dad and I own to grow and help as many people. Some of them who would even be able to, will not be paying. I want to help people who have been unable to graduate from universities get where they want. But the moment I find successful people and I'm marketing this idea to them, some of them feel like I'm using them. So the best thing I can do is keep on grinding and people will be attracted to me. The other problem, which was a big thing, is that when I met a successful person, I didn't know how to ask them the right question. When you meet a successful person, it's good to ask them, what books do you used to read? Who are you listening to on YouTube? Who is your role model? What challenges did you face in life? What is your weakness? What is your strength? How are you able to leverage on your weaknesses and use them for your own advantage? Those are the right questions. Most of us, when we meet successful people, the only thing we want is a selfie. The only thing we want is questions that don't even matter. I had to know how to ask the right questions. Ask the right questions, because sometimes some of these successful people, you only see them for 5 minutes. You won't see them again. Number 5, I was too aggressive whenever I was advised. This one, we argued a lot with my dad and my family, because my family were the people who were there for me. When I was in jail, they visited me. They bailed me out of jail. They bailed me out of so many problems. Now, when in recovery, sometimes I thought whatever they were advising me with was a big fat lie. Sometimes I felt like they never believed in my dream. You have to differentiate between people who are out there for you and people who are not out for you. I remember a friend of mine, close friend of mine, wrote something on the internet, told me, if you go that way, you're not going to go anywhere. In the end, I realized, and the moment I stopped writing those things, so much joy, was the right thing. And some of these people in your life, they want the best for you. Don't be too aggressive when being advised by the right people. Number 6, I thought I knew it all. Big problem. Confucius said it nicely in his book. Confucius, in his deathbed, was asked, you are a genius, how much do you know? And he said, the only thing I know is nothing. Michelangelo said it even better. People were calling him a genius, and he said, if people knew how much it took to be who I am today, no one would be calling me a genius. So you need to have a Shoshin mindset. We call it a lunchbox mentality, where no matter where you get to, don't ever think like you know it all. Every day I meet anybody, I will listen. I will listen to people who I feel are not doing, sometimes even a child. God might have sent that child to speak to me, that soldier. Everybody has something they can tell you. Number 7, did not have a schedule or a plan. Big problem. Whether you're going for a journey from here to Mombasa or to outside the country or to Ukraine, to USA, wherever you want to go to, without a schedule, without a plan, and without removing the things you don't need in that bag, you won't be able to get there. What makes you think that you can get into recovery without a plan or a schedule? If you can have a plan, maybe 10 years, you think big, but you start small and do it small, a day at a time, eventually you're going to get to that plan. And by 8, I had no consistency. One thing I struggled with initially in the recovery is that I had so many goals, but I depended so much on motivation. The thing about success, like Mike Tyson said, is discipline is doing things you don't want to do and doing them like you want to do them, like you love them. That's the point about recovery. Without consistency, you won't be the person you want to be. It's like lifting weights. Let me go back there, because a gym is a nice place to be at. If you go there the first days, it will be hard. But if you do it daily, actually we start with 10 kg, you do them for like 1 month, then the next you go to 20, it will be easy, you go to 30. That way you'll be able to get to 150. But if you're not consistent with 10, there's no way you're going to get to 20. And if you get to the gym and immediately you are given 50 kg, it might even break your bones. The other thing is I tried to force relationships. I tried to force people to recover. See, like I told you, I truly have a desire. I have maniacal determination to help people recover. So I try to force people to recover. One thing about life, it has taught me, for me it has been that hard to change. How exactly do I want to change other people? The thing about me is that I operate on one principle. I operate on attraction rather than promotion. Instead of forcing people into recovery, instead of beating up people to recover, how about I keep on advising them? How about I keep on living the life, that good life, and people will be attracted to me. And I have seen so much changes. I've seen people transform through seeing my testimony. Some of them have been able to say, I want to quit gambling because I have seen you quit gambling. I want to quit drugs because I can see that you're able to quit. One day I was in the streets and one guy approaches me, Harin, is this you, Mark? Is this you, Mark? If it's you, then I believe I can change. The problem is we want to force people into recovery. That won't work, and to make you even go back into addiction. And the last point, I watched too many irrelevant things on the internet. One thing, when I got a phone, because I never used to have a phone in recovery, in addiction. I got a phone, was bought for a phone by my family initially when in addiction. One thing about that phone is that it had so many subscriptions on Facebook. I had so many followers who were not posting the content that I wanted. And one thing I've realized about addiction, about recovery, is that I had to watch the right things. There is no way I want to quit bang and the things I'm watching and the songs I'm watching are people smoking, people gambling. There's no way. I have to change my mindset. Like Pavlov used to say it, if I have a dog, I keep ringing the bell, and anytime I ring the bell, there is meat. That dog, it won't even wait for that smell of the meat. It will wait for the bell to ring. And immediately the bell rings, it will immediately run because it knows there is meat. That's the same thing with addiction. Sometimes you don't even have to see that bang, see the gambling casino. Immediately you start watching some things, they bring you back there. It's like watching porn and expecting you not to masturbate. Those are two things that can not work hand in hand. So I had to unsubscribe to so many irrelevant things. Some of them I had to block them. And that way, I'm still standing, still walking. And the thing is, you have to keep on pushing. Like I said, you have to do these things consistently. You have to change consistently. Stop giving up. That's the most important thing. Just because it didn't work for the first day, first month, just because people didn't believe you in you for the first, second day, then you start giving up. Recovery is not a bed of roses. Like Paul B always says from South Africa, that miracles always happen in recovery. It's only that sometimes they take a little bit longer. Otherwise, I love you, I believe in you. If you hang in the barber's chair long enough, eventually you also get a haircut. One thing I know about life is that those who keep on pushing, even if they don't know the way, if you keep on pushing without the how, eventually you'll be able to see how God works miracles. I am a miracle, and each and every day I'm thanking God. I thank God for giving me this platform to share this to you, and I hope you learn. Share it out to your friends, your neighbors, people who are going through addiction. And if you are a mom or a dad or a brother or a sister who has somebody, your loved one who's going through addiction, they too can recover. I believe in you. I believe in you. Keep on pushing. I can, I will, I must. One day at a time. Thank you.